Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the #1 source for the RV GCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RV GCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RV GCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter. Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter, and welcome to Goldilocks Global Banking News. I'm your host. Folks, pay attention. There are 4 major agencies that are responsible for the global currency reset /RV. Number 1, the U.S. Treasury. Number 2, the World Bank. Number 3, the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. Number 4, the BIS, the Bank of International Settlements, which is the central bank of all central banks around the world. Literally, the Bank of International Settlements, otherwise known as the acronym BIS, all of the central banks, the Central Bank of Iraq, Vietnam, Venezuela, Russia, China, you name it, whatever country, their central banks that control those currencies, they have a dotted line up to the Bank of International Settlements, which is the central bank of all central banks. Goldilocks is sharing a major announcement today whereby the Central Bank of Iraq has requested to become a member of the Bank of International Settlements. So Iraq has requested to become a member of one of the major international agencies, banking agencies, that oversees all of the currencies, because they oversee all of the central banks of those currencies around the world. In order for Iraq to even consider the possibility of becoming a member of this global financial institution, they would have to understand and realize that there is major responsibility that comes with that, and also confidence in the banking system and the Iraqi dinar. Let's jump right into it. Goldilocks is stating that while a formal announcement of Iraq joining the Bank of International Settlements has not been made publicly, recent articles and news indicates that Iraq is taking concrete steps towards membership of the Bank of International Settlements. Just this month, the governor of the central bank requested the Bank of England's support, sort of like a sponsor. Iraq asked the Bank of England to sponsor them to become members of the Bank of International Settlements, the BIS. Do you know who the Bank of England is? The royal family? The royal bank? The Bank of England? Folks, 70% of all the banks around the world, all the countries, I should say, around the world, their banks are mirrored behind the Bank of England. For Iraq joining the Bank of International Settlements would be a significant step in Iraq's reintegration into the global financial system after years of isolation. The move of Iraq to become a member of the Bank of International Settlements signifies a commitment to international financial cooperation, stability, and transparency, which will 1,000% strengthen the Iraqi dinar. Goldilocks is sharing that the significance of Iraq joining the BIS would allow Iraq to achieve several critical objectives. Number one, enhancing their international stance. Thus, the international stance and strength of the Iraqi dinar. Gaining membership in this premier global institution would boost Iraq's reputation around the world in the Iraqi dinar, signaling that Iraq has adopted international best practices. This could make it easier to attract foreign investors into Iraq. This would also strengthen Iraq's banking oversight because the BIS membership entails international cooperation and financial stability and regulation, thus boosting Iraq and the dinar to an international level. Yes, the World Trade Organization is a part of the Bank of International Settlements as well. By Iraq aligning its practices with the Bank of International Settlements and its standards, Iraq can strengthen the dinar and its banking sector to improve the Iraqi dinar. It gives Iraq access to technology and expertise in their banking system that will further also strengthen the Iraqi dinar. The BIS acts as a hub for all central banks' cooperation and research. Membership would give Iraq access to the Bank of International Settlements' international expertise and programs, therefore, again, strengthening the Iraqi dinar and its value. This would help modernize Iraq's banking sector and its banking system and its technology. This will diversify Iraq and its foreign reserves. It will diversify the dinar into other international institutions around the world, therefore strengthening the Iraqi dinar. The BIS offers banking services and sophisticated asset management for member central banks, which would include the Central Bank of Iraq and, of course, will affect the Iraqi dinar. This would also give reduced reliance on the U.S. dollar and the U.S. banking system for Iraq. Iraq's financial system currently has a high degree of reliance on the U.S. Federal Reserve for dollar-based transfers of their oil. If they were to become members of the Bank of International Settlements, there would not be a need for continuous relationships with the U.S. and the Federal Reserve, which is the last crutch, if you will, that the U.S. has on Iraq. The context of Iraq's economic reforms, Iraq's push for membership into the BIS is a part of a broader, longer-term strategy to reform the Iraqi banking sector. There's been recent initiatives where Iraq even joined the European Bank of Reconstruction and Development last year to finance infrastructure and development projects. Prioritizing accession to the World Trade Organization, which requires verifiable regulatory reforms. This shows that Iraq is making several steps to get the nod, the okay, the green light from the World Trade Organization to become members of the World Trade Organization. Developing a national financial inclusion strategy with support from the Alliance of Financial Inclusion. Overall, Goldilocks is sharing, the BIS membership would be a crucial symbol of Iraq's economic reform efforts and practical step toward greater financial independence and stability in the world. Goldilocks is stating and showing that this article discusses a major ongoing effort by Iraq's central bank to overhaul its banking sector and, yes, strengthening the Iraqi dinar. See, folks, there are many different steps and many different processes involved in strengthening a country's currency. Many of you who are paying attention, you're beginning to see this now. It's very obvious that you're beginning to pay attention to see this when hearing every week and every weekend and every delay, you're getting tired of hearing that. You're beginning to see that it is not what you've been told of how this happens. You're beginning to see that what Goldilocks has been sharing is reality. Because many of you who are establishing relationships with your private firms and tier 1 banks, they're beginning to tell you the same thing that Goldilocks has been telling you and showing you what's happening in the global financial system, which includes foreign currencies. Iraq's reform papers and origins and its scope, the Central Bank of Iraq has been working with the international consulting firm Oliver Wyman for over a year and a half to 2, helping them to move through the roadmap of becoming members of the World Trade Organization. And now they want to become members of the Bank of International Settlements, which is one of the 4 pillars for the global currency reset. Not the event of a switch. When I say that, what I mean is that, folks, the GCR, it is a bunch of countries that operate individually. However, especially as a result of tariffs, there will be a collective movement in their currencies reacting to these tariffs. They've already begun. And just so that you are aware, it just takes one country's currency to begin to move, more so than the others. The domino and ripple effect will begin. We are already seeing it now. The wealth management firms and tier 1 banks are beginning to see it and share it with our members in writing from their newsletters and updates. See, folks, Iraq is right now at a break or make moment to professionalize its banking sector, blending domestic pragmatism with international demands. The World Trade Organization, the U.S. Department of Treasury, the Bank of International Settlements, the world is telling Iraq, catch up. We want you to be a part of this new digital banking system whereby assets will back our currencies, including your currency, the dinar, Iraq. And Iraq, they are implementing these reforms. They have and continuously will. They are continuously becoming aligned with international standards. Think of Iraq as you have children playing outside, a bunch of kids. You have some that are of different ages, some younger, some older. The older ones reach back and tell the younger ones to catch up so you can play with us. The world has been telling Iraq, catch up so you can play with us. Because as these currencies begin to move, you don't want to be left behind. Iraq is at a pivotal moment. And they are showing every effort to catch up. And the world is ready to receive them. I know many of us are as well. So just understand and know. Again, Iraq made this pivotal move to become a member of the Bank of International Settlements. They do not want to be left behind. Folks, you have the golden opportunity. You can join the Goldilocks QFS Dialogue Room. Click the link at the top of the description. Feel free to go through read, research, and catch up to speed so you're not left behind as well. We love you, beautiful folks. Be well, be kind. We love you unconditionally. Ciao.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the #1 source for the RV GCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RV GCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RV GCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.